Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Nicole and today I did a little piece in my book that I thought I might share with everybody. This new Scorpio moon that is coming in is going to be pretty substantial. I don't know if a lot of you are into the cycles of the moon and astrology and that kind of thing, but this new Scorpio moon that is coming, I think it's either tomorrow or the next day. It's going to be pretty darn soon. Very, very strong for death and rebirth and transformation, allowing us to purge a lot of things that we no longer need, things that are cycles that we've been in for most of our lives, past pain and hurt, being able to transform that pain into power and get rid of that and stepping into our own divinity. So this piece that I wrote today, I wanted to share with you guys. This one is about letting go of all past hurts, trauma that we think that define us as who we are. All the past pain does is keep us shackled in a self-sabotaging prison. What that is causing us to do is keep repeating cycles in our lives, usually cycles that we would not want to repeat. Subconsciously, though, we are clinging to the past hurts like a child not wanting to let go of their security blanket. But if we don't finally let go, we stay right there as a child, never growing, never experiencing life, just staying a scared little child clinging to the security from fear of letting go. Fear is nothing but an illusion. For instance, I have a fear of public speaking. I know, right? It's crazy. But it sounds weird, but I'm extremely drawn to speaking up and sharing my truth to the world. And I have been my whole life, but I'm scared to death of it. It doesn't make sense, right? Well, my fear stems from a child, never fitting in with others, that whenever I tried to speak my truth, I quickly got shot down and made fun of. My thoughts were so different than anyone else's train of thoughts. So I was labeled different, weird, or anything that could quiet me down. Anything to put a label on me to shut me up. Years later, into adulthood, I turned to drinking. Being a control freak by nature, I would hardly ever get drunk. But I found that with a slight buzz that I was more comfortable in my own skin and voicing my opinions instead of muting my own voice. Years of silence turned into a little drinking in the evenings to numb the pain and try to free my inner voice. It made me numb to others' opinions of me, which was a relief because I felt free. But by doing so, all that was doing was damaging my body. I was suppressing my rage, which turned into multiple surgeries and unbelievable pain like I have never experienced before in my life. So instead of looking within at the root of the problem, I masked it with bad food, alcohol, and bad choices, creating a yo-yo effect with my weight, my health, my mindset. Being a control person, I never let my weight or anything else rule me completely. When I found myself spiraling out of control, I could catch myself and steer my ship back on course. I'd start working out again, eating healthy, quit drinking, did positive affirmations, all the stuff that you do to change your life. But when you're in a relationship with a negative person that drinks and is surrounded by family and friends that are negative, drink, and play the victim role, it's super easy to go back down the spiral. This is why it's super important to know your value and have self-love. You can recognize that certain people, places, and things are toxic for you, knowing it is better to be alone with self-love than surrounded by tons of toxic. You should never have to sacrifice your happiness for another person's happiness. If you're in a marriage where love isn't reciprocated and you've tried all that you can, then know it is okay to leave that relationship. If your job stresses you out and is not fulfilling your soul, that it is okay to look for another avenue of employment or even self-employment. I personally am not happy unless I am in some kind of service. I've been an entrepreneur for most of my life. By getting a cosmetology license at 19, I helped people with their looks, whether it be their hair or nails or whatever, to feel good about themselves. I had my own business for many years. And then I switched to training horses, helping horses and people communicate better. And now I'm slowly moving into what I've always most passionately been drawn to do my whole life. It is speaking to people and animals alike and teaching them about healing, love, compassion, and oneness with everything on this planet, including, quote, Gaia, Mother Earth, herself. Now the Earth being a feminine energy and the Sun being a masculine energy. So here we're going to talk about masculine and feminine energies. Energy is just energy. It doesn't make you a man or a woman. Some women can harness more of their masculine, and some men can harness more of their feminine. This should not define you as a human being. We all carry both masculine and feminine energies, and the trick is to balance these energies within ourselves, not to be afraid as a man to show their feminine energy, and not for a woman to fear showing her masculine side. We use our feminine energies to be compassionate, intuitive, receiving, listening, being conscious, passionate, creative, playful, vulnerability, gentle, soulful. And we use our masculine energies to be analytical, striving, assertiveness, organization, logical, and action-oriented. So you can see how we all need masculine and feminine energies. But without a balanced energy, a masculine would be too domineering, too assertive, and too much of a control freak, too much push and strive until they are left hollow and dead inside. And too much feminine energy would make you too indecisive, too emotional, too giving, not standing up for yourself, a pushover, all no and no go, which would lead you to being hollow and resentful. So taking the time out to balance your energies and healing are extremely important. Just like the cycles in the moon, the full moon is for purging all that doesn't serve you, which creates space for new blessings to come in. And the new moon is for manifesting your true desires, just like the ocean tides that create the ebb and flow in life. Life is about ebb and flow cycles, death and rebirth, transformation, growing, learning, then releasing and purging, and then death and rebirth. This is the cycle of life. A proper balanced energy will take you through this process monthly. Life isn't about staying in where you are, but by being in the ebb and flow of life, of your life always changing and growing and not staying the same, being stuck. Now that, my friends, is not life. And that's what this new Scorpio moon is bringing in, is death and transformation. The energies that are coming in for this new moon are going to be pretty potent. People that have been doing their work, their inner work, are going to find this energy to not be as painful. But it will probably bring up some stuff that we need to let go of finally and have that death and transformation. It's going to be a time to really dig deep. And if things come up during this new moon energies that are coming in, if things come up that are really painful, and all of a sudden you're starting to think about things that have happened in your past, and it makes you scared or makes you feel vulnerable, that it is okay to bring it up. You have to feel these emotions to let them go. Because if you don't want to feel them because it hurts too much, or it's too painful to think about, then all you're doing is stuffing them back down into what I call the metaphorical trash compactor, shoving it down. And what does that do? All that does is creates disease and sickness, poverty. Anything you do that suppresses your personal energy creates a toxicity in your body that your body doesn't want. So knowing that feelings are okay. Feelings, we have feelings because they're meant to be felt. Whether it be good or bad, all they are is just feelings of energy. And if you can understand that on a deep core level, knowing that there really is no good and bad, it's just all experiences. And we take those experiences and we learn different things from each experience to build on to other things, to create that ebb and flow in life, to be able to surrender to life and let us flow through in a way that is more comfortable. We're taught from a young age that you have to work hard. And unless you're working hard all the time, constantly, you're never going to make anything of yourself, which is a complete lie. You're taught that unless you're striving and you're pushing and you're driving that masculine energy forward, push, push, drive, drive, drive. That's why we're taught from a young age that that's the only way that you can succeed. And that's not true at all. You have to be able to push and strive, yes, but you also have to step back and allow that feminine energy to come in and receive. Because if all you're ever doing is pushing and striving, you're not allowing for anything new and better to come in and fill that. And a lot of times we suppress things from a child. You know, traumas, tragedies, anything that happens to us that scars us and creates pain and causes us to guard our hearts and to guard ourselves so we don't feel that anymore. And all that does is just create a block that allows all the blessings that are coming into you to come in and pass you by, because you're not open to receive any of that. You can't receive anything if you're guarded and you're blocked, because you have pain inside that you are harboring, that you've been harboring your whole life as a child. And you wonder why good things can't happen to you, or you see a glimpse of them and they just pass you by. And you wonder why you're stuck in this cycle of always getting pooped on, you know? Because you've got too much harbored inside, too much animosity, too much resistance, too much anger, too much rage inside of you from past events that you think define you. Those don't define who you truly are. All they're done is placed in your path to have resistance to good things that are trying to come in. So when you release things, you know, you've heard the saying, you have to release to be able to get. You have to create a space to be able to receive. Because if you're so full of things that you're harboring, there can't be any room for any good to come in. So you have to let these things that are coming up right now, let them come up. Don't be scared of them. Take some time. Some of them are really harbored deep within us, deep to the core of who we think we are as human beings. Don't let those things define you, and don't let those things get in the way of your happiness and your life fulfillment. I mean, why do we all think that we're not good enough and we can't have the best of everything? That's just a program that we're instilled at a young age. That we have to work hard or we can't be anybody. That everybody has to like us or we're never going to be anybody. We have to have a lot of money or we're never going to be anybody. We have to have nice things or we're never going to be anybody. And that's all such a lie. It's all such a lie. Because the more we want things, the more we're pushing those things that we want away. That's the law of attraction. Because if all we're thinking about is making that extra dollar and I got to have that security of having a bank account full of money, that's just repelling your money away from you. And if you think that having a certain love in your life is going to make you happy, and you just want that love so bad, you're repelling all that love away from you. Everything comes from within. So if you truly want happiness, you have to be happy where you are in life. And it doesn't matter if you are living in a cardboard box. Be thankful that you have that cardboard box and be grateful inside for having that, if that's all you have. Because being grateful and gratitude is the biggest way for you to create more in your life. Being grateful for what you have, not striving for more and never being happy with what you have. That's a repellent. The more you aren't satisfied, the more you're going to get things that aren't going to satisfy you. But the more grateful that you are for the littlest things that you have in your life, whether it be a cell phone to talk to anybody, whether it be a little dog to give love to, whether it be a roof over your head to keep you warm and dry, whether it be a rig to drive to get where you need to go. Be grateful for all those things. That's a blessing in itself. And the more that you are grateful for those things, the more things will come to you that you can be grateful for. The more love and compassion and gratitude that you have in your heart, the more things that are going to come to you that you can be so grateful for. Whew. Just being grateful for that just made my heart chakra just go poof. Being grateful for every little thing you have in your life will bring so many blessings to your life. You can't even count how many blessings that those are going to bring to you. I have so many blessings in my life right now. I am so grateful for everything I have in my life. And because I have experienced the depths of hell multiple times, I can appreciate the smallest of things. Even if it's just a good morning text from somebody that you appreciate, that right there is a blessing. To be able to have that. To be able to go out and ride one of my horses and just feel free. That is a blessing. And the more that you're grateful for every little thing, the more you're going to get so many blessings in your life. I can't even begin to tell you that. My life has changed around 180 degrees from what it was a year ago. From being in that victim mentality of, why does life happen to me? You know, why do I always get the people that just poop all over me? Being insecure and fighting battles in my head constantly of why and who am I and why don't I ever feel good enough for anybody? And all that did is stem from childhood issues that I had. And once I realized that, and realized that I was missing out on so much of life, I was blocking my happiness completely by blocking my heart and being the ice queen. My guides told me one time I was doing cards and I got the Queen of Swords, and I got this little chuckle in my head from one of my guides calling me the Ice Queen, and I was like, the Ice Queen? Dang. But it was true. I've been guarded since probably 8-9 years old as a child, or even longer. I've been guarded and protecting myself and locking my heart down. And I have missed out on so much in my life because I've done that. But then I think about it, and I really didn't miss out on anything, because I am right where I'm supposed to be, exactly where I'm supposed to be. I experienced everything I was supposed to experience. All the good, the bad, the ugly, the miracles, the things that almost took my life. I experienced all those things for a reason. And knowing what I know now and understand exactly how everything works, and I'm far from knowing exactly how things work, because we're all growing and evolving every day. And just when you think you know everything, you'll realize you don't know anything. You don't know anything at all. There's so much out there that we don't know. And the more you think you know, the more you don't know. And that's where surrendering comes into play. Surrendering to what wants to be. Putting that manifestation out there at the new moon in Scorpio that's coming. Putting that manifestation out there and saying, this is what I'm manifesting. This is what I really, really want. And being okay with saying, this is what I want, and I'm going to step back and surrender on how it is to come to me. And forget about it. And just set it out there and let it happen. Write it on a piece of paper. On your new moon, the night of the new moon, write your manifestations, everything you would like to manifest on a piece of paper. And then read it. And then go outside and burn it. This is what I want. And don't be hooked on the way it comes to you. That it has to come this way, this way, and this way. This is the way it has to come to me, or I'm not going to be happy. You have to release that. Because when you put that manifestation out there and then you step back and say, I'm okay with however this is going to come to me, that's when the real miracles take place. Because God gets busy. Your guides, angels, spirit, whatever you want to call it, they get busy bringing you that manifestation in a way that will completely blow your mind. If you get out of your way and just let it happen, however it needs to happen, it will come to you in divine timing, of course, when it is ready for you and everybody involved that manifestation is all about. And when it does happen, you will be brought to tears on how that happens and what it looks like. Because when you get your manifestation and you see how it all unfolds, you'll just be awestruck. You'll be like, oh, I never thought it could happen that way. And in a way that is bigger than I ever thought I could imagine. That is true life. That is, it's amazing when it happens like that. But you have to surrender and you have to get out of the way, because if you don't, it won't come to you in the way you expect. And by putting that expectation on there, you just put yourself in that doubt and that frustration mode. Because when you see it not coming into play like you wanted it to come into play, that puts a negative aspect on it. And then you are repelling your manifestation. So you're doing the opposite of what you're wanting without even realizing it. But when you put it out there and you step back and you just watch it unfold like a flower, there ain't nothing better. Because you can be brought things in a way it is mind-boggling on how it works. And be prepared to be amazed and totally blessed when you finally do. But the key is to surrender. You have to surrender everything you ever knew about everything and get into the ebb and flow of life and quit resisting and quit trying to make things happen. Put it out there and just go about your business and just watch these miracles just unfold right in front of your face. And being intuitive and listening to your gut when it's time to take action, and then using your action-oriented goals to be able to make things happen. And you'll be told in divine timing when it's time to step back and when it's time to move forward. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I enjoy doing these, of course. So you guys take care. Bye for now.